Let's jump right in. I had a patient, a 55-year-old woman, who came to me panicking about sudden hair loss. Not just mild thinning, but visible patches on her scalp. She tried everything: special shampoos, hair serums, even prescription creams. But nothing worked. She was convinced it was just age, hormones, maybe stress. However, after examining her diet, we discovered something surprising, which is a healthy nut she was eating every day was actually causing inflammation, throwing her hormones out of balance, and potentially accelerating hair loss. So today we're digging into something many women over 50 never think twice about, which is nuts. Yes, the very foods you've probably been told are good for your heart, your skin, your brain. And many of them are, but not all of them are good for your scalp. Some nuts contain compounds that support hair regrowth, balance hormones, and reduce inflammation. But others? They're inflammatory, mold prone, or even loaded with anti-nutrients that can silently sabotage your hair health. That's why this episode is so important. Whether you're trying to grow stronger, thicker hair, or simply want to stop the shedding, the nuts you eat could be making all the difference. Oh, and before we go further, I'm Dr. William, a functional medicine doctor and host of this podcast. And joining me, as always, is my good friend and longevity researcher, Barbara O'Neill.
Thanks, William. Hair loss after 50 is more common than most people realise, especially for women. As estrogen declines, the body becomes more prone to inflammation and oxidative stress, two big factors in accelerated hair loss. And here's the thing: many women try to fix it with topical treatments, but they overlook the root cause: nutrition, especially fats and proteins. That's where nuts come in. Some nuts are excellent for your hair, packed with zinc, selenium, biotin, and healthy fats. But others can trigger subtle reactions, from thyroid disruption to digestive issues that weaken your hair from within.
So today, we're breaking it all down: four nuts that can help regrow hair, and four nuts that might be quietly causing it to fall out. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss upcoming episodes on hair, hormones, and health for women over 50.
Now let's move into part two, where we'll explore four nuts that are not only delicious but can actively support natural hair regrowth for women over 50. Let's start with one of the most underrated beauty foods for women over 50, walnuts. These little brain-shaped nuts aren't just good for your heart and cognitive health, they're actually a powerful ally when it comes to hair regrowth. What makes them special is their high content of plant-based omega-3 fatty acids, particularly alpha-linolenic acid. That's the kind of fat that helps reduce inflammation across the body, including the scalp. And chronic scalp inflammation is a sneaky cause of hair thinning that many women don't even realize is happening. On top of that, walnuts deliver biotin, vitamin E, and copper, three nutrients your hair follicles crave. Biotin supports keratin production, which keeps your strands strong. Vitamin E acts like a shield, protecting your hair cells from oxidative stress. And copper, it helps maintain your hair's natural pigment, especially important if you're seeing premature graying.
That's right. I often say that if your scalp is inflamed, your hair won't grow, no matter how many serums or shampoos you try. And walnuts tackle that from the inside out. But here's a key tip: don't overdo it. A small amount goes a long way. Just 3 to 5 whole walnuts a day is enough to support hair health without overloading on calories or fats. And skip the flavored or salted versions. When you eat walnuts that have been roasted in oil or coated with sugar, you're undoing their anti-inflammatory benefits. Keep it simple, raw, or lightly toasted at home. You can toss them on your salad, blend them into a smoothie, or just eat a few as a snack.
Next, let's talk about one of the most underrated yet powerful foods for women struggling with thinning hair: pumpkin seeds. These little green seeds are a rich natural source of zinc, a mineral that plays a vital role in hair follicle health. Zinc helps repair and build hair tissue, but more importantly, it helps regulate hormones, especially DHT, a form of testosterone that, when elevated or poorly balanced in women after menopause, can shrink hair follicles and trigger hair loss. By adding zinc-rich foods like pumpkin seeds to your diet, you're supporting a more balanced hormonal environment and creating the right conditions for hair to regrow.
That's exactly right, Barbara. And what makes pumpkin seeds even more special is their high content of phytosterols, plant compounds that have been shown in studies to promote thicker, fuller hair. These phytosterols work at the root level, enhancing scalp circulation and reducing inflammation that may be stalling the hair growth cycle. Plus, they're incredibly easy to incorporate into your daily routine. You don't need a lot, Just 1 to 2 tablespoons per day is enough. You can sprinkle them on your oatmeal, mix them into salads, or even add them to smoothies. The key is consistency. Also, go for raw or dry roasted pumpkin seeds without added salt or sugar. Processed versions can cancel out some of the benefits and add unwanted sodium to your diet, which isn't ideal for hormone or skin health.
So, if you're looking for a simple, affordable way to nourish your scalp and hair from the inside out, pumpkin seeds are a smart place to start.
When it comes to hair health after 50, one trace mineral that often gets overlooked is selenium, and Brazil nuts happen to be the richest natural source of it. Selenium is essential for the production of glutathione, one of the body's most powerful antioxidants. This antioxidant protects hair follicles from oxidative stress, one of the major causes of hair aging and thinning. For women going through menopause or postmenopause, selenium also helps regulate thyroid function, which directly affects hair growth. A sluggish thyroid often leads to hair that's dry, brittle, or falling out in patches.
Exactly. And here's the thing, selenium is one of those nutrients where more is not better. Just 1 to 2 Brazil nuts a day gives you your full daily dose, around 100 to 200 micrograms. Eating more than that regularly can actually backfire. High selenium intake over time can lead to selenium toxicity, which ironically causes the very problem we're trying to fix, hair loss, along with fatigue, nausea, or nail issues. So if you're reaching for Brazil nuts as a hair regrowth aid, treat them more like a supplement than a snack. Keep it simple. 1 nut per day if you're small framed, or 2 if you're larger bodied. It's that easy.
And always choose raw, unsalted Brazil nuts if you can. Roasted or overly processed versions may lose some of the beneficial selenium and add unnecessary additives. You can chop one up and add to a yogurt bowl or just eat it plain. The impact is slow but steady. Within a few weeks, many women report stronger, shinier hair, better energy, and fewer brittle ends. Small nut, big impact.
And in first position, almonds are a true powerhouse when it comes to hair support, especially for women over 50. They're packed with plant-based protein, which is essential for rebuilding the structure of thinning hair. Just like your muscles, your hair needs protein to stay strong and resilient, but that's just the beginning. Almonds are also a rich source of vitamin E, which acts as an antioxidant to protect the scalp and follicles from everyday damage, and magnesium, a mineral that many older women are quietly deficient in. Low magnesium levels have been linked to poor hair growth, fatigue, and even hormonal imbalances, all of which play a role in postmenopausal hair loss.
Another bonus most people don't realize is how almonds support two often overlooked systems: thyroid health and insulin regulation. If your thyroid is underactive or your blood sugar swings too much, your hair is one of the first places to show stress. Almonds help buffer those systems gently, which can stabilize hair shedding over time. That said, the way you eat almonds matters. Raw almonds can be tough on digestion, especially after 50, when enzyme production may slow down. That's why I always recommend soaking almonds overnight. Just place 7 or 10 almonds in water before bed, drain in the morning, and they'll be softer, easier to digest, and even a little sweeter.
Add them to oatmeal, a smoothie, or eat them alone with breakfast. Just don't overdo it. 7 to 10 soaked almonds a day is the sweet spot. So if you're looking for a daily nut to nourish your scalp and support hormones, almonds are one of the most balanced choices you can make.
Now that we've covered the best nuts for regrowing hair, let's flip the script because not all nuts are helpful. In fact, some may silently sabotage your scalp. Welcome to part 3, the 4 nuts that could be triggering hair loss, especially in women over 50. Cashews are often seen as a healthy snack. They're creamy, tasty, and feel like a treat. But for women over 50, especially those struggling with hair loss or scalp issues, cashews can be surprisingly problematic. One of the biggest concerns is aflatoxin, a toxin produced by molds that can grow on improperly stored nuts, especially in humid environments. Aflatoxins are known to trigger inflammation and oxidative stress, both of which accelerate scalp aging and damage hair follicles over time. Another issue is the omega 6 to omega 3 imbalance. Cashews are high in omega 6 fatty acids, and while our body needs them in small amounts, too much, especially without enough omega 3s, can fuel systemic inflammation. For someone already dealing with hormone shifts or autoimmune triggers after menopause, that's a recipe for increased shedding.
There's also something people don't often realize: mild allergies. A lot of women I work with don't even know they're sensitive to cashews until we remove them. They report symptoms like an itchy scalp, red patches, or a burning sensation. These might not feel like full blown allergies, but they still signal an inflammatory response, which over time can lead to diffuse hair thinning, especially at the crown or along the part. So, does this mean you can never eat cashews? Not necessarily. But if you're eating them daily in nut butters, snack bars, or plant based sources, and you're noticing changes in your scalp, it's worth pulling them out for a few weeks. If symptoms improve, that's a clear signal.
Next, let's talk about peanuts, which, interestingly, aren't even true nuts. They actually belong to the legume family. That small detail makes a big difference when it comes to your health, especially for women over 50 dealing with hair loss. One of the main issues with peanuts is how prone they are to mold contamination. If not stored properly, they often harbor aflatoxins, a type of mycotoxin that's toxic to the liver and a known contributor to chronic inflammation. And as we've said many times, inflammation is one of the root causes of hair loss as we age.
Exactly. While peanuts might be affordable and popular, they're not always the safest choice, especially for people with autoimmune issues or thyroid imbalances. The aflatoxins in contaminated peanuts can burden the liver, affect hormone metabolism, and worsen inflammatory skin conditions like scalp dermatitis. I've seen patients who experience breakouts or increased scalp itchiness after consuming peanuts regularly, signs that the body is not processing them well. And there's more. Peanuts are also high in omega-6 fatty acids. While we do need some omega-6 in the diet, too much, especially without enough omega-3 to balance it, can lead to systemic inflammation. That imbalance can quietly contribute to hormonal disruption, clogged hair follicles, and yes, increased hair shedding. Moving on to macadamia nuts.
If you love peanuts and don't want to give them up entirely, the key is to be very selective. Choose organic, dry roasted peanuts with no added salt or sugar, and keep your portions small, maybe just a small handful once or twice a week. But if you've been struggling with scalp issues, thinning hair, or thyroid related fatigue, it might be worth cutting peanuts out for a while and observing how your body and your hair respond.
Macadamias are indeed rich in monounsaturated fats, which can support heart health. But when it comes to hair health, they're surprisingly low in the critical micronutrients your hair follicles actually need, things like zinc, selenium, and biotin. So while they may give you energy, they don't directly nourish the scalp or support stronger, thicker hair. In fact, if you're eating macadamia nuts regularly as a snack, especially in large amounts, you could be consuming excess calories without realizing it. And for women over 50, that energy surplus can sometimes backfire. Extra fat gets stored more easily due to shifting hormones, and chronic low-grade inflammation from weight gain may worsen hair thinning. Plus, there's no real return in terms of supporting your follicles.
And let's be honest, most people aren't eating plain raw macadamia nuts. They're often roasted, salted, and sold in shiny packages as snack foods. That added sodium is another problem, especially for women managing blood pressure or fluid retention. High sodium snacks like salted macadamias can lead to puffiness, poor circulation, and in some cases, even scalp dehydration, all of which affect how well your hair grows. If you enjoy the taste, there's nothing wrong with the occasional treat, but they shouldn't be your go to nut for hair health. Instead, focus on nuts that actively supply the vitamins and minerals your hair follicles need. Macadamias are tasty, yes, but they're more of a luxury snack than a functional food for your scalp. If you're trying to regrow hair, especially post menopause, this might be one to rotate out.
Coming in at number one, the nut most likely to trigger unexpected hair loss in women over 50 is pistachios. Surprised? Most people are. Pistachios are often seen as a healthy snack, full of fiber, good fats, and even some antioxidants. But here's the catch: they're extremely prone to oxidation if not stored properly. When pistachios go rancid, which can happen quietly in your pantry, they form oxidized fats that contribute to oxidative stress in the body. Oxidative stress is one of the key drivers behind hair follicle aging, inflammation, and ultimately hair shedding. Even more concerning, some women have a subtle sensitivity to pistachios that they don't even realize. It might not show up as a full-blown allergy, no hives, no throat swelling, but instead low-grade scalp inflammation, itching, or diffuse hair thinning. You think it's hormones or age, but it might just be your favorite handful of green nuts.
That's why, if you're dealing with unexplained hair loss, especially the kind that doesn't respond to usual treatments, consider doing a simple 2 week elimination of pistachios. Just stop eating them, even in mixed nut blends or baked goods, and observe. Some women notice their scalp feels less irritated, less tight, and new growth appears stronger after a few weeks. Of course, pistachios aren't inherently bad, but for certain individuals, especially women in midlife whose immune and hormonal systems are more reactive, even healthy foods can backfire. The solution isn't to fear food, it's to understand how your unique body responds. So if you're snacking on pistachios daily, thinking they're helping, take a pause. They might be the missing puzzle piece in your hair loss mystery. And if you're unsure, talk to your doctor or try that 2 week break. Your scalp may thank you.
All right, we've covered which nuts help and which ones hurt. The real question is, how do you create a balanced, hair friendly nut routine that actually works for your body? When it comes to nuts and hair health, the key is variety, not over reliance. One of the biggest mistakes I see with patients over 50 is that they find one superfood like almonds or walnuts and eat it every single day without variation. But our bodies thrive on diversity, especially as we age. So instead of committing to one type of nut, I encourage women to rotate 3 to 4 different kinds of hair supportive nuts throughout the week. For example, almonds on Monday, pumpkin seeds on Tuesday, Brazil nuts on Wednesday, walnuts on Thursday, and so on. That way you're getting a broader spectrum of nutrients without overwhelming your body with too much of any one compound like selenium or oxalates.
And quality matters just as much as variety. The healthiest nut in the world won't do your hair any favors if it's rancid, salted, or processed. Always aim for organic when possible, especially for nuts like peanuts or cashews that are prone to mold contamination. Choose raw or dry roasted varieties over those heavily salted or oil fried, and store them in a cool, dark place, even in the fridge or freezer if you buy in bulk. Nuts are rich in oils, which oxidize easily, especially in warmer climates. Also, think about how you eat your nuts. When combined with low glycemic fruits like berries or paired with a bowl of plain oatmeal, nuts can help stabilize blood sugar and insulin, two big factors in hormonal balance and hair growth. On the flip side, eating nuts with sugary yogurt or baked into sweet granola bars can spike insulin and promote inflammation, exactly what we're trying to avoid.
Now let's talk about something many women forget. How your body reacts to a new food can change over time. If you're in perimenopause, menopause, or dealing with thyroid issues or joint inflammation, your immune system may be more sensitive. That means even a healthy nut could cause subtle inflammation or hormonal disruptions. If you try a new type of nut and notice increased scalp itching, bloating, mood swings, or fatigue, pay attention. It might not be a coincidence. That's why keeping a short 7 to 10 day food journal can be so valuable, especially if you're experiencing sudden or unexplained hair loss. Write down what you eat, especially any nuts, and how your scalp and energy levels respond. Sometimes that one small habit reveals patterns that even lab tests might miss.
Exactly. Hair loss is rarely caused by just one thing, but if you're eating high quality, clean nuts, in the right variety, paired smartly, and with body awareness, you're giving your hair every chance to grow, strengthen, and shine again. No miracle product can replace what consistent nutrition can do. So remember that food is feedback. Listen closely, and treat your nut routine as part of a broader hair healing strategy, not just a snack. Your body and your hair will reflect the care you put in.
Finally, hair isn't just about age, it's a mirror of your inner health. If your hair's thinning, dull, or falling out more than usual, it might not be about your shampoo, it's about your plate. Every bite you take sends a message to your follicles, and for women over 50, that message can be healing or harmful. What you eat every single day is the most powerful serum you're applying to your scalp, and the beauty of it, you don't need expensive treatments or painful procedures to start turning things around. You just need to treat food as your natural medicine, especially after menopause. Your hormones shift, your inflammation levels change, and your body becomes more sensitive to both the nutrients and the irritants in your diet. That's where nuts come in. They may seem small, but their impact on your scalp, your hormones, and your skin is profound. A handful of the right kind can support regrowth, shine, and volume. But the wrong type, especially if eaten in excess or when you have underlying sensitivities, can silently trigger inflammation, disrupt thyroid function, or worsen hormonal imbalance.
So, here's our message to you. Don't fear nuts, but do get smart about them. Start paying attention to what your body tells you. Track how your hair and skin respond. You might be surprised by what a simple switch in your snack bowl can do in just a few weeks. Let food be your first step to healing, not just your hair, but your confidence and well being. Comment below to let us know. Have you ever noticed certain nuts making your hair fall or grow more? Remember to like, share, and subscribe to catch our next episode on collagen, hormones, and staying strong, vibrant, and beautiful beyond 50.